Yo, what's up, guys? This is episode 20 of Daylightcast. Today, Ryuk's Apples had to take care of some real life stuff because he has, like, like a career and a girlfriend and, real life because he's, an actual human being, unlike us nerds. And today we have a special guest, so I'm gonna introduce everybody. I am Otofu, if you guys don't already know. We have Atro, of course, the head honcho, the man who started it all. Say hello.
Hello.
We got Mathman200.
Yo, yo.
Who's currently streaming, so this should be interesting. And
hell yeah, dude. I got focus of a god.
Hell yeah, dude. And we have our special guest today, Tempest Funk, who is a very long time Dead by Daylight player. I've been playing with it against this guy since this game came out. So I'm really curious. I'm really excited to see what he's got to say. Say hello, buddy.
Been breaking
Hello, bud. How's it going, guys?
There we go. Alright, so today we're gonna be doing a okay. We're gonna be doing like that meme, where they sit in front of the stupid booth with the thing that says change my mind, and then they have a controversial thing, you know what I mean? We're doing that, but without the actual meme because memes are stupid. So we're each gonna have a topic that's controversial. Sorry, Atro. I'm not a fan of memes, sorry. Anyway, we're all gonna have our own topics, and then we're gonna discuss them. We didn't really decide who's gonna go first, so who wants to go first?
Well, you're the host. How about you go?
Yeah. All right, I'll go first. Sure, dude. I'll go first because mine's pretty fucking out there anyway. Okay. Here's my opinion, and I want this to be discussed. I want people to give me, like, feedback on both sides of this. I believe that Nurse is not OP and is actually the only balanced killer in the game. Okay? Before we talk, let me just say, the reason why I feel this way is because I think in a game that's 1v4, like Dead by Daylight, like if there's a team of 1 playing against a team of 4, the 1 should be in control at all times. You shouldn't be at the mercy of the 4. I feel like every killer in this game that deals with pallets and deals with windows, the way that the game is played is you basically chase survivors and you rely on them making mistakes to take advantage of. And being a good killer usually is whenever you are good at forcing them into mistakes. And I find that crazy. Like, I think if it's going to be a 1v4, the 1 should be like the Nurse. The Nurse is the only killer that isn't like that. She can just blink on top of your face and hit you, So I feel like this game would be a lot better off if every killer was that powerful. If you were actually in control of the game rather than, oh shit, these are 4 really good survivors that might not make mistakes while doing generators. I'm fucked, That's my opinion. You guys are you guys gonna jump down my throat about this?
Well, I'm just waiting to see if anyone else has something to say. I
think you said. I think. Sorry, what do you want to say?
Well, I was going to counter his controversial opinion by saying that I think that maybe, and I've kind of held this position for a while, that the hillbilly might actually be stronger than the Nurse.
Really?
Because of the double damage?
Yeah, double damage and traversal ability. Yeah.
It is still better. I will agree with that. I do think hillbillies can be much better, especially if you have a map that isn't something like stupid like Larry through the game. Any map that has some form of
it is really map dependent.
It is, yes.
I also think that the Nurse, I know that's not like a balance kind of thing, but I think the Nurse is just held back by how still buggy her blinks are, and they just sometimes don't work.
Yeah, I just feel like, okay, imagine this hypothetical situation. It's really hard to imagine because not every survivor is like really good. There's a lot of survivors that are bad. Even at rank 1, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but even at rank 1, there's a lot of potato survivors. It's not that hard to get rank 1, Like, you find a lot of killers and survivors at rank 1 that are, And what I'm saying is, like, picture, like, Tournament DBD. Like, honestly, I feel like Tournament DBD, as silly as that tournament was, kind of opened my eyes to a lot. Because, dude, playing like any pallet dealing killer. I don't even know how else to say it. Any killer that deals with pallets in that tournament was fucking ridiculous. Like it wasn't even viable at all. Like, for instance, we were doing scrims with Amcrow, who's a friend of ours and a really good killer player. He's a really good nurse and he's also a really good Billy. He's just like, he just plays a lot of killers. And his nurse was ridiculous. Like, we had to try our ass off to even remotely get any gens done because it was so hard. And then when he played Billy, it was easy. Every single person he chased, like, the way it works is against other killers, you can basically guarantee a long chase by just knowing the map and running to, like, safe pallets, you know? Like, it doesn't matter how good of a Billy you are, how good of any killer you are. If there's a good survivor around multiple safe pallets, you're not getting a hit. Like, it's not gonna happen. At least not for, like, some time. Like, you're definitely gonna waste, like, multiple minutes. Whereas Nurse, you're just like, nah, son, and then you blink on top of their face and hit them, you know? And, like... Sorry, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. And to clarify, like, what happened during that scrim, during, like, the scrims with Amkrill's Nurse and his Billy, what happened was the first 3 games against Nurse, we got shit on. He just slugged all 4 of us. We got 1 gen done between 3 games, and we were like, this is impossible. And then we started, like, actually thinking about it and strategizing and trying to figure out how to beat it, you know? We had to actually try as Survivor. I know, right? Isn't that crazy? I had to actually think and use my brain as Survivor for once. And we found a way. Like, what we ended up doing was we ended up making it so that every time we got found by Krill's Nurse, we would make sure that we ran far away from our teammates and got down on, like, the other side of the map. That way he, 1, couldn't slug, and B, for him to create more map pressure, he would have to cover the whole distance of the map again. And with that strategy, we were then able to get gens done. We actually had a few people escape. Like, we had a few games where we had, like, 2 people escape against his Nurse. Even though his Nurse was ridiculous and every chase ended in, like, 20 seconds. We still managed to, like, get out a couple games just through strategy. But we had to actually think about that kind of shit for the first time, like, ever, you know? And I just wish that's how the game was. I miss having, like, I'm gonna be honest, I miss having to try as Survivor. I feel like when I play Survivor, I never have to really try or think. It just seems so fucking brain dead easy half the time.
So, when people play killer, and, like, there's a lot of really good killers in the game, I've noticed that a lot of them tend to gravitate towards the same few killers. Like, there's the hillbillies, the nurses, the huntresses, you know, those are, like, really top tier killer characters. And I find that they all kind of play in the same way. And I think that kind of gets people in the mindset of just playing against every killer as if they're the same. So yeah, when you say you got to play against the nurse differently, like, definitely, like, she has a pretty strong weakness, or pretty big weakness, in the fact that her walk speed is so much lower than the rest. And that comes into play more than just in chases. That's also, like, you know, searching around rocks and, like, trying to find someone inside a jungle gym, right? So, like, one of the nurse's biggest weaknesses is, like, immersed survivors. And because everyone's so used to playing against Billy and, like, other, like, really fast moving survivors on foot, like, immersion doesn't really help that much in those cases. But against killers like Nurse and maybe to a lesser degree Huntress, like, that's a much more viable strategy.
Yeah, because Nurse and Huntress are, like, the 2 killers that are just insanely good at catching survivors quickly, but
yeah,
the lower movement speed is the payoff for that.
Yeah, so it's definitely, like, people are less practiced against. I mean,
yeah, I also feel like I should have said that I don't think they should do this. It's way too late in the game now. It's way too late. Like, if they were just, like, magically, like, okay, every killer is the strength of the nurse now, have fun, it wouldn't work. Like, it's too late. The game's been out too long. I'm saying, like, if that's how it was from the beginning, I think it would have been a lot better in the long run, you know? Like, I feel like if they would have gave survivors a team win condition rather than, like, an individual win condition and made killers that strong, then I think it would have been better in the long run, you know? Like, by now, like, I don't expect any of this to be like I'm not like, the behavior, please buff every killer and make every killer a nurse by any means, because, yeah, it's way too late for that shit. But I don't know. I don't know.
It's never too late for map design. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean, think you were talking a lot about it. You're saying how if a good survivor knows the map, this is a key word for word almost sort of thing. If a good survivor knows the map, then they're going to be able to play, obviously, optimally with safe pallets. Now, there's the key issue, is that most of the pallets in this game are safe. So if you're someone who can easily just, know the map, you learn it, you've played a lot of hours, you can effortlessly just run safe pallet loops without any thought process. Now imagine trying to play a killer on an unsafe pallet. That's a fuck ton of thought process right there. You know how fucking hard it is, to like play someone on that shit? It is so hard. It's so fun too. I love doing that.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on an unsafe tile playing with Tofu and like videos and stuff, it's like, all right, what do I think he's gonna do? I gotta play around what he's gonna do. I gotta think about what his next action's gonna be. I gotta think, how's his play style? What am I gonna do against it? If he fakes it, how many times does he fake it before switching strategies? Will he continue to just fake it, There's so many questions you got to ask yourself when you're in an unsafe pallet scenario. It really does mean if you do try, it'll make it a more enjoyable experience. Instead of just being like, oh, this tile's unsafe, I'm just going to get hit and run away to a safe tile, I think unsafe tiles can easily be played, not for forever, but that's the point, is if you play correctly against someone, you're going to waste a bit of time. And that's the point of the tile.
So, okay. So what you're saying is basically...
Map design is shit?
Yeah, you're saying if tiles were less safe, then other killers would be able to keep up, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Because I totally agree.
Tiles linked up more specifically. You can have safe tiles, because it's fine to have 1 or 2 safe tiles here and there, That's just... Oh, my God. Sorry. You can have 1 or 2 safe tiles. It's just... When the situation comes when you link 4 safe pallet loops beside each other, all you can do is run in circles and force break pallets as any other killer. It's not, unless you're like Huntress or something, but that's the same kind of thing. Any generic killer won't have any play there. They're just going to loop and loop and loop, break pallet. Next one, loop, 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 break pallet. Next one, loop, 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 break pallet. However, if you had 1 safe pallet with 2 safes and 1 safe pallet, 2 unsafes, and another safe completely on the opposite side. If you want to link those, you have to play those unsafe pallets extremely well.
Yeah,
that's kind of my argument. Map design favors like Nurse because it's so strong, right? If maps are so strong, someone who ignores the map design will inherently ignore the problems that the game is facing for every other killer. So I just wanted to bring up that argument where I don't know if maybe in the current metagame, Nurse definitely might feel like that. However, in a world where, we slowly make some tiles more unsafe, maybe we change generations, so there's, unsafe pallets next to safe pallets, so you can't link them. We remove things like safe pallets next to really long windows like Shack and Jungle Gym, so you can't loop windows into a pallet loop, stuff like that. I think that would be a lot healthier for the game and would be a lot more enjoyable to play.
Okay, so... Like I kind of want to follow up this conversation because I agree. I think if they made, like, for instance, that is the problem. You're right, having multiple safe pallets linked so you can just run them mindlessly without really having to try. But like, imagine if they didn't. Like, imagine if they made like not every pallet, but imagine if they made like 80% of the pallets on a map. Even 80% might be high, but imagine if they made most of the pallets on a map unsafe. Like, not like slightly unsafe. Like, I know they shortened them up a little already, but even with them being shortened up, they're still decently safe. I mean, we've done testing. They're still pretty safe.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's some tiles that are still in that very safe range, I think that is the good safe tile, right? When it's that range where it's safe, like just barely safe, which means you don't get infinite amounts of loops on it. Like those old double pallet tiles that had that really long, like 29, 27 meter side. Like, why does that exist, right? So stuff like that doesn't need to exist as a safe tile. You just don't need that shit.
Yeah, hold on.
Bloodlust 3 in the game, and then that is the only tile.
Yeah, but okay. Anyway, to like continue my thought, if most tiles were unsafe, okay. I see Namtar, by the way, but I agree that if with the maps being fixed, Bloodlust would definitely be removed. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know if they ever would, but I would love to see that removed. I think
because that's the thing is the initial purpose of Bloodlust was for that reason of trying to help those killers. but it doesn't do it. You know, that's the issue.
It does a terrible job, and on top of doing a terrible job of fixing it, it also ruins the actual balance tiles that are in the game and makes them unbalanced.
Exactly.
Which
means that you can't make balanced tiles because then they're shitty in the current metagame because of this terrible, you know.
Yeah, because of Bloodlust, exactly.
Or add-on, sorry.
But that's a whole nother Bloodlust is a whole nother thing that we can rant about for hours. Anyway, let's just say hypothetically Bloodlust is gone, okay, and the palettes are like say it's a perfect world and Bloodlust is gone and all the palettes are like pretty unsafe. Like say as a killer, let's say as like a Billy, say as a Wraith, you're like chasing somebody around a pallet, and even if he's a really good survivor, you feel confident that like if you stay at this pallet for a good like 10-20 seconds, and if the survivor stays there and doesn't try to move to the next pallet, that you'll eventually get a hit. You know, like an unsafe pallet, like any unsafe pallet. You know.
Yep.
Like you're confident that you'll get a hit in 10-20 seconds if you just stay there. Imagine if that was most pallets. How much different is that than current Nurse? You know what I mean? Like good killers are gonna be able to get constant hits on you. Bad killers you could still probably play around, but that's exactly how Nurse is right now. Like good nurses will shit on you, and then bad nurses, you know, you can run them around forever. I feel like that like ideal scenario of maps being balanced and every other killer being viable is literally exactly what I'm saying. Like
no, that's what I read the situation as. I think it's more of a you're stating from the current metagame of why you feel like Nurse is, you know, the only balanced killer.
You know, honestly,
I think it revolves around map design as well.
Yeah,
that affects every other killer other than Nurse.
Yeah, you actually helped me realize that. I didn't know that's why I felt that way until right now.
Very close to your words, and I was like, all right, so like me and Namtar were talking about it. We were just like, all right, so like what? When we're hearing this, what I'm hearing is that Nurse is balanced because you said safe pallets, you know, they suck. You know, window loops that are too long, waste too much time. That's what I hear, and it's something I've complained about forever. It's map design. It's such a big issue that just isn't changed.
Yeah, I agree. I think it all just boils back down to map design. But okay, hold on. Sorry. This is the other question. This was the question I was trying to get to, and I fucking keep stalling and. Anyway, okay, if that's how the game was, hypothetically, if they made killers that strong in general by like actually balancing the maps, how would the community react? How would you dude, they barely touched anything this last patch. They literally slightly nerfed exhaustion, and then they slightly buffed killers, and then they messed around with some perks. And did you see the amount of people that like review bombed the game?
That was hilarious.
Yeah, and they were like, the devs are ruining the game. I quit. They're babying killers.
I actually wanted to talk about that anyways, is that I don't know if everything needs to be like completely unsafe. The game's a slaughterfest, because you got to make sure you account for every level of play, and that's why I say that the safe pallets are fine in the game, because a new player will only ever be able to use those and might not even be able to, you know? So you got to have that mix between. Like, that's why not everything can be safe, but not everything can be unsafe. Because you got to have a mix.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to do that. I think, though, it's that's the issue here, is the player base will review bomb anything. Like, killers will review bomb if, like, Hexroom gets changed. I swear to God, it's going to happen. People are just whining and complaining. Any change you make to a multiplayer game that people take seriously, you'll just get shit on for it. It's really awful to see, but it's just kind of how it is. So I would say more so focus on making sure the changes don't feel shitty. I think the exhaustion example is a great show of it. I think that could have been changed in many other ways that didn't feel as shitty, right? Because having your exhaustion proc once, potentially per entire game, isn't enjoyable. And as killer, it's not enjoyable when they sprint away at 150% speed. Imagine if you could not sprint at 150% speed, you sprinted slight amount, so it still felt good to use by getting it on a shorter cooldown, and it didn't impact your chases by allowing them to run over 2.5 tiles of distance. The game would feel a lot better from both sides, and it would have achieved the same sort of result of now you're making it so the balance is better for both sides. However, you're not leaving an infuriating thing to play against and play with when it never happens, you know? I'd say the way that they go about things is bad, because they're not doing a change that is enjoyable. They're doing a change just for balance. You can make it a balance change that is enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been a million times better change if they would have like just slowed down the speed or reduced the amount of time they get the speed or did something to the amount of distance they get rather than keeping you from being able to do it more than once. I agree.
So, one of the things that I think a lot of people have a problem with the nurse specifically is they feel that you even said at the start, it's up to the survivor to make a mistake. If the survivor makes a mistake, then, or sorry, it's up to the killer to make a mistake. Can you
Up to the
Okay,
survivor.
with any other killer other than Nurse, it's basically the killer trying to force the survivor into making a mistake and then taking advantage. Whereas with Nurse, it's the exact opposite. The survivors are trying to force the killer into making a mistake and then getting away.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, which is how I think it should be. I think the survivors should be pressured to make the killer make mistakes rather than the killer be pressured to have the survivor make mistakes, you know?
So, I kind of want to argue that point because I feel that that is maybe a little backwards. Like I like how it works for all the other killers. The killer is up to the killer to try to make the survivor to make a mistake because if a survivor makes a mistake, it's a lot more detrimental for them than if the killer makes a mistake. If the killer makes a mistake and like misses a lunge at a pallet loop when it could have been a hit, you know, he loses a couple seconds. If a survivor makes a mistake, then he gets on the hook, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. Like the
I also like what Tempest Punk's thought process is. I don't mind that. I enjoy that part, and I also don't think it's completely one-sided like that. I think certain areas, obviously, currently, it does for a lot of tiles feel like that. However, if you were to have more sort of unsafe pallets as well, it's not just necessarily about looking at it as the survivor made a mistake. You played a certain way, and maybe you forced him into a position where you ended up getting a hit. That's the same with moonwalking. Is the survivor making a mistake, or are you yourself like are you like almost pressuring them and you're getting a hit off of good play? I don't think they'd make a mistake if you moonwalk. I'd say you outplayed them.
No, I still think they
Right?
make. I think you're playing in a way that forces them into a mistake. Is what it is. I think. Like I think, for instance, if you show your red light and the survivor gets scared and vaults the window too early, they still vaulted the window too early. It depends on the tile. I mean, on unsafe like tiles, no. But like I'm thinking like you know like when you say moonwalking, I immediately think of like Shack. You know. Like, if you run up and show your red light at the door of Shack and then moonwalk down to meet him on the other side of the window, if that survivor vaults that window because of you showing your red light for a second, he fucked up. He made a mistake. Like, you can wait a goddamn second as a survivor. Any good survivor knows that. You don't just vault right away. You wait a second, see if he actually comes in, and then hurry up and fast vault the window if he does. Like, that's how you play it. And if you don't do that, if you just automatically jump the window, you're making a mistake. Like, yeah, you like, forced him into the mistake, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like skill as killer is basically who can like force survivors into making mistakes. You know what I mean? But like if the survivor doesn't make a mistake, then too fucking bad. You don't get the hit. Fuck you. You know?
Yeah, so that's what's great about like all the other killers. As a killer, you're trying to make the survivor make the mistake. But like, what do you do for nurse? You know, it's the survivor has to like run one way and then double back and go the other way. Like it's not as I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, like the way nurse is, like the real only counterplay to nurse is basically like break line of sight, and then whatever the fuck you think she like, you have to have distance and you have to break line of sight, and then whatever you think she's gonna predict, you have to do the opposite, you know. But if you're like in an open field or if she has LOS of you and she's not that far away, you're basically boned if she's a good nurse. You know what I mean? And I do agree that maybe she's a little too strong, but like generally, I like the idea of like being in control. You know.
So let me ask this: what do you think if every player, killer and survivor, were playing like optimally? Like let's say you get like freaking deep learning AI or whatever it's called, and the computer learns how to play each role like perfectly, right?
Okay.
Would the game be better if the survivors were able to always escape, or would it be better if the killer like was always guaranteed to get a hit? Because it seems like if someone's depending on someone else making a mistake, if you don't make a mistake, that person should win all the time. So
yeah,
for example, with Nurse, you're saying that survivors have to force her to make a mistake. If she plays perfectly, then she should just win every engagement, like completely.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it should be like that, but I also think playing perfectly should be harder. Like, I definitely think that Nurse could be, like, touched up, and she's, like, I kind of hate that Nurse is the example, because I feel like Nurse is still, like, over the top for what I picture as good.
I agree.
You
And
know?
that's what I said. That's why I don't think everything should be exactly like how Nurse is, because it's also not fun. Like, that's another
Yeah,
factor.
like,
Even if she's the most balanced in the theory, she's not fun to play against a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Because
she's
you're gonna
like over
feel
the top.
powerless. You have no chance if she plays perfectly, exactly like Tempest is saying. Like, what enjoyment would I have playing the game if I load up and that's what every game's gonna be? You know, I think it needs to be a back and forth of both sides, or else you're gonna have one brain dead side, and one side that's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. Like, forcing the other side to make a mistake is definitely a good thing. I don't think any killer should have a guaranteed free hit.
Yeah, here. Can I think I have an idea of something that of what you're saying that I kind of want to get out there from my theory. Okay? Like, because like you are right about that, okay? And like right now, as it is, as a killer, you need to force the survivor to make a mistake, right? But as a survivor, it's sort of hard to not make mistakes sometimes. Like, I think that's how the game is right now. If you're playing as an actual good killer, and that's why a lot of survivors aren't that good. That's why moonwalking works. A lot of people fall for it. It's not exactly easy to do, you know what I mean? I think that should be the balance, but flip-flop. I think
I agree with you. That's a great idea.
yeah, like I think if it was on the survivors to make the killer make mistakes, but as a killer, it was actually really hard to not make mistakes. It's hard for me to come up with like a real example because no one plays like this in the current. I guess you know what? I think Huntress might actually play like this in the current meta. Maybe. Sort of? No, maybe. Like, sort of, but...
What about it? Sorry? What are we talking about? Like...
As far as, like, a killer, like, basically the survivor banking on the killer making a mistake, but as a killer, it's hard to not make mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like what Tempest said. I feel like if the killer plays 100% perfectly, like, they should get hits and downs consistently. But I want like, 100% good play to be, like, next to impossible. Like, really fucking hard, you know?
Yeah, I think I get what you mean.
Like, I feel like with Nurse, it's too easy to play almost 100% perfect, you know? Like, I feel like if it was harder to play 100% perfect, then it would be okay because, you know... Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
I don't know, it's so hard to talk about because there's always the two sides of the coin, you know? You always have different levels of skill, you know, different levels of playing perfectly. You know, because there's always survivors doing whatever they can to play perfectly and killers. You know, it's a back and forth. That's why I just kind of wish, like, both sides had options to outplay the others on tiles that made it feel impactful and enjoyable for both sides. So when you play good against the other, you know, you feel rewarded for it, sort of thing. But it's so hard to do that because where's the line or where's the definition? Where is it drawn at? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unity's weird.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, I think some of the most fun you have in this game is like playing either a killer or a survivor at like an unsafe tile. Like, for instance, playing a survivor and like actually juking a killer at a tile that like okay, could you imagine running around like a Z wall for like a whole minute on a killer? That's like so satisfying. You know what I mean? It's hilarious. Yeah, and I agree. Like it's actually satisfying because you're genuinely outplaying them. You know what I mean? It's not like you're just running around a palette that's so strong that they're just helpless. It's like, damn, like I'm actually playing this guy like really hard. I'm outplaying him right now, you know? I do wish that was more of a thing. Honestly, really, I think I'm gonna be honest, I think you guys did change my mind. I'm gonna be honest.
There you go.
I feel like now I just feel like it's map balance. I feel like if map balance was just better, then we'd be fine.
I feel like we've talked about this all the time, but if map balance was good, this game would be way better. It'd feel way better. It's a process, you know, it's a really slow, dreadful process, but, you know, slowly we're getting better and better tiles that are at least not super bullshit. But I'd say look at the clown map. Look at some of the palettes on that map. Some of those palettes are fucking terrible, but that's great. You know, it's fucking great because it feels so good when you actually outplay someone on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone can say that they're having fun when they're at a super safe palette and just looping the killer.
No, of course, no, not at all.
Like if you say you're having fun, you're just lying.
You're either lying or you're one of those like douchebag
Yeah.
people that like try to just piss off killers and BM them and make them angry, and that's how you get your kicks on the internet.
Brother.
Yeah.
I play DBD to make people quit the game.
Unless you're one of those people, exactly.
I also just wanted to mention about having a fun time. There was this YouTube video released by this Tofu YouTuber, which was talking about it was advanced killer tutorial, right? Or like advanced tactics to use, like moonwalking. You know, you talked about all that stuff.
All that good stuff.
There's a segue for this. Don't worry, I'm getting to it. But anyways, we had a moment where it's like you zoned me, and then I got to play you on an unsafe pallet, and that was really enjoyable because it's like I had to predict what you were gonna do. You know, I had to think, okay, he's gonna fake it this time. Okay, now that he faked it once and failed, I think he's gonna fake it another time and then actually commit. So it's that kind of mindset. I love that. It's so fun and enjoyable to play against.
Agreed. That whole video showed so many examples of actually fun gameplay.
And that's what I love.
Yeah.
You know, I love doing that video.
Like
with you.
all of the clips in that video were so good, like so well picked.
And that's what I mean. That's why I wanted to bring it up, is because that was a blast. You know, I played with Anubis on like some DLC release. He wanted to test the new map when it came out. He's like, "Yo, I want to see if this map's bullshit, the stupid clown one." He's like, "Dude, there's so many windows. It's gonna be an infinite." And I just had a blast running around these unsafe pallets, getting bodied. You know, maybe shitting on them for a few minutes. It was a great time. That's what I want at like meme high skilled play. If rank 1 actually meant something, which we know it never will.
Yeah, see, but then like the problem is, it's kind of like you said, how does that work for low ranks then?
Exactly.
You know?
And this is the issue with DVD, is you can't have everything, right? It's so hard. That's why safe pallets of some variety have to exist, because
okay, complete hypothetical here. I know this is getting very off topic, but I just want to talk about this once real quick. What if, hypothetically, if they just made like most of the pallets, like a large percentage, like maybe 80-90% of the pallets on a map unsafe? I know that's a crazy high number, but then also added more pallets,
See, this is what I said, is if you make a lot of unsafe pallets to map, you could have a fucking 25 pallet map and it wouldn't be a deal, like a big deal.
Yeah, if you could actually play.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that would be fucking fun. Imagine like actually being able to chain two like super short PAL loops together because you played well. Isn't that like great? Like instead of just running around bullshit window or bullshit loops back to back, having a resident sleeper time.
And I feel like as like a low level player, you'd still might be able to be okay because there's so many fucking pallets, Yeah, like sure
exactly.
The pallets are less safe, but if there's like 30 of them on a map, you know what I mean? If it's like old Blood Lodge like level of pallets, even if they're unsafe, you can still run around chucking pallets all day. And if you're playing an equally not so skilled killer, you should be fine, I think that's honestly the fix, in my opinion. I don't know.
I think that would be a fun thing to test, like even as just a map. Like that is an actual map design. See how it works.
Yeah.
And a new map, make a lot of unsafe pallets, have a high dense, and see how it plays out. I think it's great to take feedback.
Dude, someone highlight this shit and send it in. Send it in. Someone send this shit in.
Someone send it in.
All right, we should probably get to the next topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been 45.
Yeah, and you guys definitely done changed my mind.
Then again, Tofu's topic was like very extensive.
Yeah, it was.
We covered a lot.
We did cover a lot of topics.
All right, who wants to go next?
I think I can go next, unless.
Right. Yeah, you've been pretty quiet, H.R. I want you to go next.
All right, sure. So my topic was that I think exhaustion perks, at least in the way they are right now, probably shouldn't be in the game. Because my idea behind it is that I think exhaustion perks in general, God, I can't talk today. Exhaustion perks in general just allow survivors to mess up so much and still get away with it. Like even if it's not sprint burst, or like it doesn't have to be sprint burst, even like balanced landing or life. Like you can fuck up and then just get to a window or to a ledge and you're already like 20 meters out of the killer again. No deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, like this is a tough one because I kind of agree with it.
So.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with it too. It makes it tough. Like I do think that like if they were toned down, they would be really good. Like I think if the distance you got from live or sprint burst was less, then it would be okay. It is pretty nuts. I mean, we did the math before. I mean, somebody did the math. I don't know anybody that does math around here, but I think somebody did the math on a podcast a while back, and like you get like 2.5 tiles worth of distance or something from sprint burst on a killer. Like it's crazy.
It's pretty excessive.
Yeah, but like I'm honestly struggling to come up with a counter argument for this. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Because like I mean, it's true. It is pretty insane. Like I feel like with you specifying in their current state, because like I think we could all agree that toned down exhaustion would would be good. I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of like toning down exhaustion and maybe getting like half the distance or something that you get now.
You want me to say what I had originally in mind to say instead of what I did end up saying? Because my original statement would have been, I don't think there should be any perks in the game that alter movement speed for either side.
That's
I'd agree with that.
I would probably agree with that one too, to be honest.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, I missed it.
Even play with your food, or what's the spider one?
Play with your food. Yeah.
Let's play with your food. Yeah, even that I don't like.
Mathman, I said that my original stance, because I ended up saying just exhaustion perks, but my original stance that I wanted to take was that I don't think there should be any perks that alter movement speed in the game.
Yeah, I argued that a long time ago as well, because movement speed perks just are really not fun to play against, and they can be really either garbage or really busted. Like release play with your food on Myers when you could insta tap, or even as Wraith, if you use one-shot down perks, you can just uncloak, cloak, uncloak, cloak, uncloak, and then you just go 21% faster. Like you're running it feels like you're using like Bloodlust 2, Bloodlust 3, just fucking cruising around getting hits. It's not enjoyable at all.
Yeah, movement speed is like by far the most important.
Touchiest.
It's like the most important thing that like a stat. You know, you can't just be like, here's 10% movement speed just because why not? Like that's ridiculous. The amount of like impact that puts on the game.
Movement speed for pressing shift. I mean, what?
Yeah. Like even Hope and like Noed, like the speed you get for both of those perks are like small. It's like what, like 7% for Hope or something, and then like what even is Noed's, like 4 or 5% or something?
4%.
Yeah, but it's honestly significant as fuck. Like being chased by like a Noed killer that's faster it's so tough. It's crazy.
Did Mathman like say once that if you have Hope, like a hag or a huntress will just not be able to catch you at a good tile if you play it just decently well. Something like that.
Right. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, what can't catch you?
Mathman, I think you once said to me, or just like people in general, that if you have Hope active, a huntress or a hag will not be able to catch you.
So the actual distance that they gain over you, Hope gives you 0.28 meters a second of movement speed as Survivor. 4.4 movement speed killer is Huntress and Hag. So theoretically, especially against Huntress, more so than Hag, because Hag has traps. Huntress, you could run around things such as the Pig Tree forever. Like, it's already a super strong tile, but even without any distance gain, you gain so much distance because of turning those tight corners that Huntress will never be able to catch you.
Are you talking like even without vaults?
Yes. If it doesn't matter. If they have Bamboozle and they vault that window, they won't be able to catch you. I've done it before. I ran multiple times. I've run bread around it just for the sake of showing them how toxic I am. And Scott as well, I believe. I also ran him around. And it was I felt bad because it's so fucking toxic. Like, Hope is an insane perk. It's just, it has such a condition to it that it's not usually that good.
Yeah, and
like
I mean,
when you're actually being chased at the end of the game and you have Hope, the killer's kind of like, they're bent over and fucked, because even on a normal killer, you're removing half of the distance they gain in a loop. That means just on paper, you're doubling the length of every single loop that you run around. It's like the time it takes to catch up.
Yeah, and that's only on paper. That's not even counting the fact that you move around the hitboxes.
That they don't turn as fast, so you're gaining more. You are literally, it's insane. Like, the perk is actually insane. It's just too niche.
Yeah, and that's what they do. Like that's how they balance every like movement. Well, you could say quote unquote balance every movement speed perk is by giving them these like insane conditions that are either like super niche or like next to impossible. Like, for instance, play with your food now is like Like, yeah, it's
Pretty bad.
insane to play against a 3-stack, play with your food killer, but like the time it takes to get 3 stacks is generally not worth it because you're just gonna lose them as soon as you hit somebody, you know. And that's like how they balance it. Is like they make them like useless while they're also OP at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like,
yeah,
they're terrible because the time it takes to stack it and even how fast you lose stacks is bad. However, the effect of it is super fucking annoying to play against and really strong. So it's a weird kind of like pseudo balance, I'd call it, because you have something that's garbage being broken, and not usually fun.
yeah.
It's also, I'm guessing so far, I have the worst stance because everybody agrees.
I think
I think so,
I mean,
man.
movement speed is busted in general. I think that's obvious. I've always complained that you shouldn't change movement speed. That's not something you want to fuck with.
Well, we can look at why it's controversial in the community, because I mean, obviously by the responses from the previous nerf,
The exhaustion,
that
That wasn't even really a nerf.
So I wanted to touch on that.
It may not be controversial like with us, but apparently it's controversial in the community. So
I wanted to talk about that because I think it's not controversial just for the point of it getting nerfed. I think it's bad because there's aspects of the game that get worse when you do changes like that. Like, to me, getting hooked after using an exhaustion, and then if anyone unhooks you within 40 seconds of anyone that's within any distance, you don't get your sprint burst. Sprint burst used to be really nice to like not promote tunneling because you could actually have a chance to get away from the hook. Not a big one, but you had a chance. If they're not breathing down your neck, you can actually gain a lot of distance because of sprint burst. And they completely shit on that, like with the change. So it's almost like tunneling gets better because you know that person has exhaustion. Depending on how long they've been on the hook, you know exactly how long their exhaustion cooldown is. So you can very easily tunnel someone because they're vulnerable, which is already the smart play to make. So I don't like it for that reason. And that's why I think there's other ways that they could have gone about it to help that out or address the issues that, you know, are already issues but just get worse because of it.
Yeah, like I was thinking that right away. I was like, is that more of a tunneling issue or a sprint burst issue?
That's
you know?
the thing. I think it's both. And that's why I'd say you can address the issue at the same time as fixing or changing a perk, you know? Because you have the ability to. You're already you're already in that area of where you're changing sprint burst. Be like, oh, you know, what if, for example, you got an exhaustion sprint burst off of the hook after being unhooked, or your exhaustion reset upon getting hooked to not promote tunneling. Stuff like that. I feel like that could have easily been implemented to kind of make that situation feel better. I think that's one of the big things. It feels like there wasn't a lot of quality of life with those changes.
I feel you, but
yeah, I agree.
Like, okay, like do you think? Okay, here's my question though. Based off what Tempest said, do you think that's why the community was pissed about it? Because I feel like people in the community don't think that heavily about it. Like,
there's multiple sides of it though. I know other like Survivor mains or Survivor streamers. I think that's a big one for them. Like Swin, Josh, he's like, I've talked to him before about it, just like on a topic of like exhaustion and stuff. It's like the only reason I use sprint burst is because I hate being tunneled off hook. It's not fun, you know. I'd rather have a chance to play the game again. Like, that's a perfectly fair reason. And now if you don't even get that, then why would you run it anyways? You know, it doesn't help you in that scenario at all. So it just kind of feels shitty because you're just gonna get tunneled and, you know, even camped, and then it's just game over. As soon as you're caught, it's game over. I don't think that's a very fun style to play. Obviously, it's not fun to play against. And that's why I wish things were done about all these little issues. You know, like next patch on the dev stream, they announced a lot of fantastic quality of life changes. That sounds super good. And that's what I wish almost came with this patch, because it would have felt a lot better getting this patch and being like, yo, I can do all this cool shit. I don't care. You know, it makes the aspect of being tunneled less bad because there's certain things like unhook faking, you know? That'll be a great deal because you can actually fake an unhook and not be locked in animation. That'll help with camping.
Yeah, I have to wonder if like, cause like, okay, obviously everything you're saying right now makes a lot of sense and I get it, but like I kind of wish we just had some random person that was pissed off about exhaustion on the podcast today to like talk about this just magically, cause like I really feel like that's not.
Just pick anyone from the DBD forums.
Yeah, like I'm really curious. Like I don't think this is the same reasoning why everyone else is pissed about exhaustion. You know?
Well, I'll say I was pissed for the exhaustion change because of that reason. So
yeah, and I think that's
I've gotten over it now.
Yeah, I think that's a totally viable reason. But like I think you're still in the state that like exhaustion should be weaker, just not in this way. You know?
Yeah, I think it was a really poor way to go about the changes. I don't think Sprint Burst especially should be how it is at all because it's so frustrating. There's so many problems with it. You know, the whole lunge being canceled from exhaustion perks because the speed is too high. You know, all that shit just it's so bad, and the quality of life is just so poor, and you don't change any of that while making it weaker. So it's kind of like a slap, you know. As a killer, I didn't enjoy that change either because it's like, well, I still got to deal with fucking missing swings for no reason.
Yeah, agree. And honestly, it doesn't address the problem of sprint burst, where like
exactly where it saves you 2.5 tiles more of distance. Like you can run from any dead zone to a fucking safe zone because you have sprint burst.
Yep, it makes like literally anywhere on the map safe.
That's the biggest complaint for people. Is like, yo, sprint burst is still fucking bullshit. So why'd you make the change? You know, it just feels shitty to use. Sure, it'll overall impact the game in a way of killers being able, you know, to do better. But it's in such a poor way that I think that's why it's got such a negative feedback. I mean, people are gonna complain. Don't get me wrong. If you like make self-care like 1% less heal speed, so it's not the same as healing someone else, people will be like, "You ruined the game!" and stuff like that. That's just how people are.
God. It's too real.
Well, I think we can all agree that like at lower ranks, killer is stronger, and then as the survivors get better and better, then killer starts to become weaker and weaker, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think as we're arguing this, we're kind of approaching it from a higher skill level. Like we all have like over 2,000 hours, I assume. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like
Yeah.
we're pretty acquainted to the game, but a vast majority of the population of this game probably has substantially less. Like I'd say sub 100 hours, and even though that is a lot of time to play a game, like they're still kind of newer-ish players to the game. So in that regard, they're viewing the game from a lower skill level. And because they're at that lower skill level, they probably see survivors as being weaker overall. So then they're seeing this nerf to exhaustion, and they're saying, like, you know, why are you nerfing like the weaker class, right? Like that's probably the source of a lot of the
Upset, frustrations.
yeah.
Oh yeah, something I wanted to plug really quick. Just what I wanted to say. I've had this train of thought for a while, but I think personally that just if they're not gonna like get rid of all the exhaustion perks, if they're gonna at least get rid of sprint burst, but add that movement speed to when you get unhooked.
Well, I would say like add the movement speed unhooking like just as a default.
Yeah, I would. Like
I mean,
to
I
see
think
that
that should be
too.
a thing anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Because
I
then,
think
yeah, you'd have the choice there of like either sprinting away from the hook, or you could like sit and then be healed by whoever saved you. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree with that though. I think that is a big part of it is that a lot of people do see it from that mindset because at low ranks, killer has always been the most powerful. When everyone was new to this game, killer was insane. It just took
man, when everyone was new, we thought Wraith was broken.
Oh
exactly.
yeah, dude.
Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
how it
We'll
is
get to
though. At
that.
low ranks, people see the game differently. If you see someone who has like 50, even 100, 200 hours in the game, they'll give you a tier list that looks very different than any other tier list you'll ever see.
It's crazy because
It's all based on personal experience, personal playstyle, how they're learning the game and going through it as well. There's so many factors, and also like stealth killers actually get them because they don't have that awareness right away, you know. So
Well, they don't have the awareness, and they're also not efficient enough to deal. Because really, how you counter stealth killers is
Yeah.
just by running them and being efficient, and they're not good at running yet. So, like, I can't even tell you how many people come to my stream and they're like, "Tofu, how the fuck do I deal with Freddy? He's ridiculous." And I'm like, and I can't really say anything. All I could be like is, "Sorry, you just have to learn to like run better." Is really it. It's just gonna take time. Like as a new player, you're just gonna get shit on by Freddy because that's what he does.
You also
You
gotta
know?
understand that whoever's on the hook is probably gonna be dead because that man is gonna be grabbing his booty every situation he can until he fucking dies.
But no, I mean, I agree though. I honestly like maybe we should be getting some like low level perspectives on all this shit, because like it is weird. Like it's weird to like talk about balance changes and only refer to high skill and never refer to like to like the newer player base. When honestly, a lot of the player base is probably like newer people. You know?
I feel like a game should be balanced around high level play though. Like
Yeah, I agree.
because it gives you something to aim towards. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks to play a game a lot and then get good at the game and then realize like after like 100 hours of playing it, like, oh shit, why am I playing this? This game is absolutely broken. You know?
Yeah, the game should definitely be balanced around high level play because the things players do at high levels, obviously those things aren't done by lower level players, so it shouldn't really affect them.
Yeah, that's why I talk about the unsafe pallets thing. It won't matter because like rank 20 is just chuck pallets anyway.
I wanna give the point though is that you gotta still make sure that the game is playable, or else you're not gonna ever have a player base that gets.
Yeah, it still has to be fun. I think DBD's at the point now that it's even if we don't get like new players, like people will see the game being played and be like, oh, I want to try this. Oh, there's actually a huge player base for it, and then people will play it because they know that. You know, if they play enough of it, they'll eventually.
Damn, that chainsaw.
Okay,
I was gonna say, as much as I hate it, you gotta make sure that people that enjoy the immersive gameplay, they don't do well, but you gotta still make sure that they can play the game. You know?
Okay, can I ask an important question? And I'm gonna need you guys to think back really far because I just thought about this. Okay, think back to when you first started playing this game. Go straight like June 2016 on me right now. Okay. Did you really care if you died every game? Like, I remember surviving was like a crazy accomplishment. Like, I actually like remember the first game I ever survived. I was like, holy fuck, I made it out. You know, I was so pumped. So like, these balance changes that we're talking about where like, you know, maybe like low level survivors might like struggle slightly more than they already do. Is that really gonna like, is that gonna be enough to turn people away? Cause like, I don't know.
I don't think so because I personally think were you not finished?
Well, I mean, I think you get the general idea. I just don't know if like low level players, like brand new players, I don't think they expect to survive. You know, like if they die like 10 games in a row, they're probably just gonna be like, shit, I need to get better and figure out how to survive. You know,
it's like they start the game, they know what the gist of the game is, and they're not gonna be like expecting to survive. So it shouldn't really matter to them if they die or not. What does matter to them though is I think if you just die because you got caught by someone and then they like stare you down for 90 seconds, you're still gonna be like, oh, I died there, but I died because, you know, that was just cheap. Stupid. I didn't really have a chance there. But I think that's a whole different issue.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know why. I kind of just wanted to say it because since we're talking about like new player experience.
Yeah. We're pretty far off topic. Do we?
Yeah,
sorry, you can go ahead and say what you want to say, but I feel like we should.
I wanted to say my super off-topic thing of the reason I got this game though was because I saw someone infiniting a killer and I was like, damn, that looks fun.
You're a fucking scumbag. I'm kicking you off the pod.
Isn't that good? Because I got this game after the day one release. I got it day two because I saw a streamer, names I will not name, infinite a killer at the bus stop. I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome. I want to do that.
It was Quizzle, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. But I watched Quizzle a lot.
He was born a toxic survivor main.
Right?
And a nurse main when Nurse came out, and a hillbilly dude.
Dude, he's off the podcast. He's out of here.
I remember when Nurse came out.
Quizzle wasn't the best, man. I love that, man.
I remember when Nurse came out and I saw her and it was like, hey, she's alright. She's not too crazy.
Yeah, that changed pretty quick.
As soon as I saw Nurse like teleporting, I knew that she was going to be absolutely insane. Like,
yeah, like when that reveal video hit, dude.
Dude, I didn't take DBD seriously that back though. I just like played it on and off. I was like,
I've taken this game seriously since day one when I was infinite in killers, dude.
At the bus.
Hell yeah. No, it wasn't just bus. I'd find things and be like, dude, I'm so good at this game. Like I found jungle gyms and I thought I was like Christ, you know?
It's because you basically were.
Basically, you felt like it.
All right, who wants to go next? We should probably move on. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all good. I just had to bring that up. So my opinion there doesn't matter. But I also don't think dying is a big. That was There's the
yeah.
end of it. I didn't mind a dying soul. I just had fun infinite people.
Let's give our guest some love. What's his opinion?
Yeah, hit us,
His
Tempest.
statement.
I think you guys will have plenty to rip into here.
Yeah, this one sounds good. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, let me bring up my notes. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So my opinion is that despite what a lot of people think, Wraith is not the worst killer. And that may not be that controversial, but I do think that he is maybe one of the better killers in the game. And I like
Can
getting
you-
a tier- Hmm?
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna ask you for your tier list. I want to hear exactly where you have them.
Yeah, okay. So I got like a little rough tier list written out. Everything's fuzzy because I mean it's really hard to like staple down where things are exactly.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
tough.
But just like for general reference, like Nurse and Billy, I have firmly at the top. At the bottom, I have Leatherface, Clown, and Pig. Towards
What?
yeah. Towards the top, I have Huntress, and I think Doctor is actually pretty good. Maybe like Doctor a little lower than Huntress. That's where it starts to get fuzzy. Like Huntress definitely like up there. Doctor a little bit lower, but definitely up there still. Towards the bottom, I got Trapper, Freddy, potentially Hag. I'm not really sure where to put Hag. I'd probably put Wraith maybe above Myers.
So he's like mid-high to you.
Yeah, so like really rough. Don't take this as gospel. Like this is not like what I'm trying to argue, but like Nurse Billy, Doctor, or Nurse Billy, Huntress, Doctor, Wraith, Myers, Hag, Freddy, Trapper, Leatherface, Clown, Pig. would
Damn,
be,
that's-
really rough. So yeah, he's
Clown second to last.
Clown. I you know what? I'd probably put Clown last. I put
Really?
probably.
Oh man, you're blowing Angel's mind right now.
Anyways, so that's not what I'm arguing. I don't want to talk about that much.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Let's
I
keep it
wanna
on
focus
Wraith.
On Wraith.
Yeah.
And then maybe if there's time, I can discuss.
I mean,
Okay,
I don't think
so-
Wraith's the worst killer either. I'll start with that.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you want.
I feel like in discussing this, we're gonna have to compare Wraith a little bit to the people that you're saying that he's better than, but let's just try to keep it
Yeah,
focused on Wraith
absolutely,
as much as
yeah.
possible, okay?
Yeah.
So, like, what makes you think that Wraith is better than, say, like,
Clown?
yeah, or even like, for
Fucking-
instance, for instance, Clown
Alright,
has like a
alright.
zoning tool that helps him catch people at tiles, and like LF has
Yeah,
a
he
one
does,
shot
he
down.
does.
Okay, like what is the big thing that Wraith has that makes him mid mid high to you?
Well, the way that I see it, there are actually 3 attributes each killer has, right? And so there's 3 different levels that they are like proficient in. One of them is chasing, one of them is hunting, and one of them is delaying. Okay, so I think chasing's pretty obvious. It's a killer's ability to score hits. Double downs, of course, count as like twice as efficient as being a chaser.
Mhm.
So Billy has his chainsaw for instant damage or double damage, so his chase is pretty strong. Nurse can catch people out right away, so her chase is really strong as well. Delay would be a killer's ability to delay generator progression. So
The resident
Like-
sleeper.
Like Pig.
yeah,
or
so
something.
like Madness 3 or like Freddy's Sleep or like the Pig's reverse bear traps where they give them a different objective to do. That would be something that delays the game. And then there's hunting. So that would be a killer's ability to find survivors. And the Wraith doesn't have any delaying mechanism, right? His chase is the weakest in the game, but he makes up for his deficiencies in being the strongest hunter. Full stop. Like he is the strongest hunter in the game. He can find anyone faster than anyone else in the game. Even Hillbilly with his chainsaw going across the map, the Wraith will be able to find someone quicker.
Okay, like I feel like even that statement could be argued,
Okay.
but
I mean,
for the sake of your argument, I'll go ahead and say that like hypothetically, if that would get argued, it would be like very close. Like you could maybe argue that like Billy with like Monitor and Abuse or something could be better or
Yeah.
whatever.
So like I'm not saying like it's a like crazy amount. Like sure, Billy I have like is like the second best or like second tier level hunting ability. Like
Yeah.
he's really good at hunting. But I mean compared to like something like the Huntress, like the Wraith, like
Oh
leaps and
yeah.
bounds better than the Huntress at finding people.
Oh yeah. Okay, now my question to you is what makes what makes the hunting be like? What makes being the best hunter? How does that make up for being like the worst as far as
How does that make up
stalling?
for being shit at chasing and shit at delaying the game?
Well, he's
Yeah.
not shit at chasing, dude. He's not. He's got Hex Ruin. Who do
He
you
can
think
literally
else
just
to delay
run
the
at
game?
people. That's all he can do.
Alright,
Yeah.
So let's say let's take the hunters for example. Let's say it takes you 30 seconds to find someone as the hunters, all right? And like that's like at the start of a game, that's like pretty reasonable for like finding the first chase, right? Would you agree? Like 30 seconds?
Wait, with who? With Huntress?
Yeah, with hunters.
Even that sometimes isn't even. Sometimes it takes longer than that for me.
Yeah,
People
that's
were
really-
fucking.
you're
Really pushing it. There,
it
buddy.
really-
That's
it really
like-
depends.
That's the point, but that's
let's
the
say you
point,
get
though.
lucky,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you get 30 seconds, and then to catch someone, it takes you another 30 seconds, which I mean, definitely could take less time, but I'm just saying for like hypothetical, you know?
Yeah.
So
Depends.
30 seconds to find someone, 30 seconds to catch him. You just wasted one time, or 1 minute is killer. Okay. So let's say Wraith, by contrast, if it takes him less time to catch someone, let's say about 15 seconds, and then it takes him a little bit longer to catch someone, let's say 45 seconds, then it's still taking a total of 1 minute, right? So his deficiency in trying to catch someone is made up for the fact that he found them faster. Additionally, because he found someone so quick, that's an additional 15 seconds that they weren't doing generators. So he's actually buying himself a little bit extra time. So it's more efficient to find someone quicker than it is to spend less time catching them.
I definitely
like,
agree with that. Like them being in the chase definitely applies pressure. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Icho, you had something to say. You can go ahead.
But I feel like if you're finding them 15 seconds quicker, that doesn't really make up for you taking 2 minutes longer than any other killer to catch them.
Well, you won't
I don't
take
think
2
it's gonna
minutes
take
longer
2
to
minutes.
catch them.
I mean, I'm not saying like any other killer, but like on average, the Wraith just takes pretty long.
But that's what I mean
Like-
is the whole point of it is supposed to be that because you have faster mobility and the ability to find people and they won't be able to hide or run away, you make up the time that you spend chasing by that purpose.
Yeah.
That's
like,
the initial idea.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
efficient it is, I'm not saying. But that's
I
the
mean-
point of the Wraith is you make up the time that you lose in chases because you find someone fast.
I mean, that's the main reason why I like Wraith, but I still don't think that the Wraith just. I don't
Especially
think
Yeah.
that
he's efficient enough at what he does, right?
I don't-
Is that what you're
hmm.
No, I'm just saying like I don't think that makes up for what the other killers have. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
but that is not the only thing that he has, right? So, additionally, because he's able to find someone so quickly, he's able to kind of pick and choose which chases he goes after. So, if you're the huntress, because you're investing so much time into finding a chase initially, you kind of become committed to the chase because it's very hard to switch off and find someone else. Like, you're not going to abandon someone and go across the map and try to find another survivor, you know? Like it just takes so much time. With the Wraith, you have that ability. If you chase someone and they run to like a really problem spot, like there's lots of pallets and you don't want to play that area, and you know there's other people on the other side of the map doing a generator in an unsafe spot, like you can very easily cloak and get over there quick enough and then surprise them and maybe get a free hit from the cloak. Like it's beneficial because you're less committed to every chase that you take, and you're able to take easier chases.
That's interesting because I honestly I'm kind of a stubborn killer, so when I play Wraith, I usually don't give up chases very easily. So
and
I'm
that's-
actually gonna have to try that the next time I play Wraith and see how it goes.
I was looking at like some of my old videos of playing Wraith, and like honestly, I would switch targets more than any other killer while playing Wraith. Like just I'd follow through with the chase maybe half the time.
I think that's a very important fact, though. Is a lot of the time, I think that is a very big tactical thing to do. Is you need to break chases like that if you want
I
to play
think-
any killer. And I think with Wraith, it does make sense. If your chases are that bad, use the strength of being able to find people a lot easier.
Yeah.
Do you?
That is a very good argument. I like that. I didn't think of that either.
Tempest. I wanted to ask
Yeah.
if you play Wraith, like ever since the new patch, do you run Sloppy Butcher?
Oh my god! So since the new patch, like, okay, so the reason why I'm bringing, the reason why that this is such,
Wait.
yeah,
Wait, I just wanted to ask you because I feel like that playstyle makes so much sense if you run
I
Sloppy
know
Butcher.
because it's such.
Sloppy
I'm so
Butcher,
happy.
like hands down, is like a godsend to the raid. Like, it,
Yeah, I've been playing Sloppy Butcher Wraith and it's Amen. I
I
love
would
it.
have so much more difficulty like arguing this point. Like Wraith would definitely be a lot lower. So okay, so blah blah blah. Blah. Killers like Nurse and Billy are so strong that they don't really care what perks they use. They can go perkless and still do pretty well. Wraith has always been a very perk dependent killer, and especially at the start of the game, there weren't a lot of perks that helped him out that much. Like a lot of the perks when the game first came out were focused on finding people, right? So you had Whispers or Spies from the Shadows, because Whispers was bugged in like the first month. You had Bloodhound, you had like Lightborn, you had I mean Brutal Strength, I guess, would be good on Wraith, but you had I don't know, what's the Deer Stalker, right? So all these perks helped survivors find, or help killers find survivors, and that is something that the Wraith did not have problems with. So there weren't really many perks that helped them out. As we've gotten more and more perks, there are so many more choices that the Wraith can use. Like there's Sloppy Butcher, which is like fantastic on him for so many reasons.
Well, yeah, you get chase and you get slowdown, and if you're gonna constantly switch targets, then you're just wasting their time.
Yeah, not only that, but also the Wraith can see blood a lot easier when he's cloaked.
No, that's not. Unless
so it's like it enhances his tracking by a lot. And then you got things like Make Your Choice, which is insane on the Wraith. Like you can cross the map faster than any other killer except for maybe Billy, and you get that double damage on Wraith, which is so like devastating because he can get pretty consistently free hits at the start of a chase. It's not that the Wraith has trouble finding the first hit because he can ambush pretty well. It's that he has trouble following up on that first hit. So if you can do that double damage and not have to follow up, then you become like super efficient at tracking people down and hitting them.
Okay.
Here's. Can I have like a? I'm gonna do a counter argument real quick, if you don't mind. Okay. So, I think you are right. I think this all is like on paper, sounds good or whatever, right? Here's where I feel like this is why I don't agree with it, and like why I feel like you're still kind of right though. Okay, because I base my killer rankings on like if you're playing against 4 survivors that are all really fucking good. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, cause like the strat you're talking right now is kind of like drop chases, go look for like for instance, say you find fucking Math Man in a lobby and you're chasing him around Blood Lodge and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Let's leave this chase and go find somebody else. So then you go find, you know, 420 no scoper who's sitting in the corner fucking jerking off, and then you hit him and down him because he's not so good, you know what I mean? And then that creates map pressure because you're beating up on other people, you know? And that's generally how games go. Like that's how like 95% of games are, is like there's usually like a good survivor or two that like are rough, and you know, you're probably better off not chasing them, and then you go find like the kind of meh survivors, down them, because then that forces the good survivors off generators and creates map pressure. Like I feel like that's the general strat that you're getting at here, is find people in bad positions or find people that aren't so good. But like my issue comes with like, what if you're playing against like a 4-man squad with friends or whatever, or even just 4 random survivors who are all really good? What if every single person you chase knows the maps and runs from safe pallet to safe pallet, and you genuinely can't catch anybody within like, you know, 2-3 minutes, you know? And so, maybe like I don't know how like Wraith can play around that. Like other killers, the high tier killers anyway, can play around that, but Wraith cannot.
So it is map dependent, but I will say that on every map that I can think of, there's always a place on the map that is not safe. And it's either not safe because there's a lack of windows or pallets initially spawned, or because you've already ran through and destroyed all the pallets anyways. So you can always have a area that is dead, essentially, right?
So like when you play Wraith, do you just go back to your dead zones consistently?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
If someone runs into my dead zone, I commit to the chase. If someone runs to a place that I know that I will be spending a lot of time trying to get them, I break off and try to find someone else.
Dude, you're making me want to play Killer right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, I'm already playing Hillbilly, and I'm gonna continue because I love breading people. But
I want to play. I want to
making me
try out
inspired, I
more
will
Wraith
say
now
that
with that kind of play style.
Yeah,
I
because
want to
it's-
try this.
Yeah,
Because I like Wraith. I like Wraith already to begin with. It's just it's kind of
I'll be honest.
Okay.
I've been getting better at giving up chases as well. Like even today, I saw situations where it's just like, oh, that fucking Powell loop next to Powell loop on Bedham. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna go get the guy who just unhooked. You know?
yeah.
Fuck it. You know,
I mean,
I ain't
you
gonna take a
could-
chase that ain't beneficial.
Yeah, you play Billy, so you can just, I want to be on this side of the map now, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh,
choose
great."
you this side of the map.
Yeah, but Wraith has that same kind of ability. Like, not as fast as Billy. I mean, it depends on the map, too. Like, if you're on Larry's, like, Wraith has a lot better mobility on Larry's than Hillbilly does. Right, so he has that. So, I think one of the biggest things with Wraith is he has a lot of stigma on him. So, I think it was, like, Tofu mentioned that when the game first came out, Wraith was, like, god tier. Because no one knew what they were doing. No one had any perks, you know. And then once people learned what to do, how to like play Infinites, and they started unlocking like Sprint Burst and Self Care, which are like two of the perks that hurt Wraith the most, by the way, Sprint Burst and Self Care. That's when Wraith started being seen as weak. And because there's this huge shift from like everyone thinking Wraith was like the best to like the worst, like people that amplified people's perception of him by a lot. And not only that, back then it was the Billy, and then they released the Nurse right away. So the Wraith was being compared to like two of the best killers, like consistent. Like they were the best killers then, and even now they're still the best killer. So, like, yeah, he was the worst then, by far. But since then, he's gotten so many buffs and so many changes. Every time they nerf a palette or a window, it helps him like more than any other killer. Every time they nerf Sprint Burst and Self Care, which they've done a couple times, it makes him like so much stronger than any other killer. Like it buffs him.
I would say that like especially Sprint Burst, M1 killers get a huge benefit because and stealth killers because they get fucked by Sprint Burst the hardest because you can just hold it, wait till they do their unstealth mechanic, and then fucking bolt on out of there 10 years away. And that is a big issue, I'd say, with all stealth killers.
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, you've had all these nerfs, and like Wraith has gotten straight up buffs, and the perks he's used or perks he could use has been introduced. So, incrementally, like little by little, Wraith has been getting better and better. And it's kind of like a boiling the frog scenario, you know? Like if you do something slow enough, people don't really notice. Like each individual like little change hasn't been enough to bump Wraith up by that much. But if you look at it compared to the start to how it is now, like Wraith is so much better. Wraith is like so much better than so many other killers. Anyways, yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's an interesting argument, man. Like I honestly, I want to go play Wraith now after hearing it.
Yeah.
But
You've been inspired. He changed our minds.
yeah, I still feel like though, like I don't know. I can't get over the fact that like, okay,
You're gonna get shittered on by good players.
yeah, and another part of the argument I gotta say, another part of the argument is I really wish they made, like, I agree that Wraith is probably the strongest hunting killer or whatever, but I do think that Wraith still does have like a lot of counterplay to his hunting. Like I've played so many games where once I realize it's a Wraith, I'm like looking for like the transparent shadow walking around, and I've played stealthy against Wraiths plenty of times. You know, I've seen Wraiths and avoided them.
As and so another thing too is a lot of people play Wraith wrong. When you are stealth, you're not invisible. Like I think we all agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can see him. So when you're in stealth mode, don't play as if no one can see you. Play as if no one can hear you. Play as if you're like Myers tier 1. You know, you gotta still conceal your body. You gotta hide behind rocks. Approach people from behind a tree, and then when you're like really close to them, then stand at a pallet and like begin your decloak, and then once you hit the bell once, then you step out. and reveal yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
don't make yourself seen until you ring your bell.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you manage to get close enough and you strike the bell the first time, like you're already moving at survivor speed. And if they don't react at that point, then you get a free hit. Like unless they have sprint burst, but
Yeah, and also the problem is when there's no LOL. Like I'm thinking, like imagine if you're on like a cornfield map and they're on a gen in the cornfield. You know, it won't work there because they can see you at all times. So it kind of only works if there's an LOS blocker. And honestly, I feel like
there's a lot of LOL.
I wish there was more, man. Like even like most like tree tiles, you know, like I don't know why my head's stuck on Coolwind Farm right now, but you know, like the tiles where there's like a tree and some hay bales or whatever, you know, and like a pallet. Even those you can like see over them if you just point your camera right. I feel like the actual like jungle gym structures are like one of the only ones that have gens in them, and also you can use like the bell uncloak. I don't know. I guess I could try to focus on it more. I like what you said about playing as if you're silent but not invisible. It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, no one plays perfectly all the time either. So even if there isn't line of sight, if you approach from a weird angle, you can sometimes catch people off guard. Like don't walk directly from like the middle of the map. Like kind of skirt around the edge. And again, like Wraith moves really fast, so being able to skirt and get into position is a lot easier. Like I'll play a lot of like Myers tier 1 and don't go past tier 1, and then play Wraith the same, just faster. Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's an interesting point of view. I still like I gotta say that I still disagree. I feel like you're maybe opening my eyes to some strengths of Wraith that I haven't seen before, which is awesome, by the way. Like I love that, but I still feel like if all four survivors are good and know to run the maps, and like you know the maps being as broken as they are right now, with you know again it comes down to like map balance or whatever, like every fucking thing does, but
everything.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're playing against 4 good survivors, even with this technique or whatever, you'll get like 1 hit on people, and you can consistently run around and get 1 hit on everybody. But getting that like second hit is going to be so, if hypothetically all 4 of them are good. And again, this is like 5% of games. Even at rank 1, there's usually at least 1 survivor on the team that like isn't very good that you can down pretty easily.
Like minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
I mean, there's like rank 1, it's not good players.
It's really not. Yeah, rank 1 really.
People that will. It's like I don't know who said it in my chat, but it's like the difference between rank 15 and rank 1 is the rank 1 people will still work on a generator and tear radius. Their skills don't change.
Yep,
they're still not good.
That's basically it.
It's like that with any killer, though. I mean, yeah, sure. Like Wraith does have that deficiency if everyone's amazing, but like if everyone's amazing, then you know, like anyone's gonna have trouble except for maybe Nurse.
That's why like generally our tier list we put killers that are good at chasing. Like you had like those 3 elements. Like the people that are good at chasing, we generally put them high because that's the major issue of playing against high skill players, you know? Like hunting is honestly never really an issue against high skill players because usually high skill players aren't afraid of you, you know? Like if I play Wraith or even like Billy at high skill levels, sometimes people just don't give a fuck. They'll just run out and be like, chase me. I'm gonna run around these pallet loops. I don't give a fuck, you know?
Yeah, there's another thing too. Like if someone is coming at you and like chase me, then a lot of the times it's better not to chase them. So there's that as well.
Yeah. Then they're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Or like when someone runs around following a Wraith with a flashlight.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I just still feel like in that hypothetical situation as Wraith, you'd be pretty helpless. Whereas like, say like, you know, again, I don't want to get too deep into this, but say like as Clown or someone who has something in their kit that helps them catch people, I think you would be a lot better off in that scenario, you know, because they're going to be less afraid to be seen. So like, you know, your hunting won't be so much of an issue. But then whenever they try to like run around and, you know, juke you, you have a tool that helps you. Whereas Wraith, you know, all he can do is try to find a weaker target. But then you find out that everybody's good, and then you're like, fuck, now what, you know?
Well, there's also a big thing too with like trying to find like vulnerable people. Like, okay, so I mentioned before that Make Your Choice is really strong on Wraith, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the weaknesses of Make Your Choice is you got to find the person that did the unhooking.
Yeah.
Wraith happens to be really good at finding people. So you can almost guarantee that you're going to find the person. that did the unhooking if you look hard enough.
True.
And people that heal, like with Sloppy Butcher, like if you hit them before they get the full heal off, then they wasted all their time trying to self-care themselves. So if you go and chase someone else, get a hit, and then go back and try to find the person that's healing, then if you can interrupt them, then you wasted all that time for them, which is like really beneficial. So you can find pressure points, and you can find like people who are more prone to being chased. Also, if someone has a toolbox, I tend to focus them more because I know that they're more dangerous to let them, have free reign of generators. So you can prioritize your targets a lot easier. I guess what I'm trying to say is hunting has more utility beyond just finding someone. It's finding someone that you want to find.
Yeah, I like this, honestly. This is really cool. I really respect this opinion. I don't necessarily agree. I still am not putting Wraith that high on my tier list, but that's a really cool way of looking at it, to be honest.
Yeah, a very good way to look at it. Really interesting too.
I like it.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't even counter anymore. I feel like I've said everything I can say. I mean, you have a pretty strong point. I feel like this is one of those things where I'm gonna like, okay, your point is good. We're gonna agree to disagree, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's honestly, I'd say it's just opinion based. Like, it's a solid point. There's not.
And also, everyone has different play styles too, right? Like, I mean, some people really like the chase. Some people are just gonna be like, I'm gonna be Billy all the time because I want to.
Hey, wow, that sounds like me.
4-man slug. Yeah.
Okay, whoa, now.
Whoa, no, not you. But like, he has that ability. And like Nurse, like I don't want to deal with pallets, so I'm gonna blink over everything.
Like, well, I'm in favor of giving Tempest Funk a Wraith skin. I don't know. I want a Tempest Funk Wraith. Give me a Wraith skin, man.
Dude, I want one.
Wait, can you gift like skins?
No, that would be I'm talking like Cherry Case V2 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like what Wraith skins do we have? We have I don't think anyone has a Wraith skins plays anymore. There's one?
Marth got one, but yeah, he quit very recently.
He like never plays Wraith.
Yeah, he used to a little back in the day.
Way back in the day, I think.
YouTuber starts with a
Onwrecker?
Onwrecker has one, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even. I don't even know who the man is. Who is that man?
Onwrecker's a huge YouTuber.
He's a variety YouTuber.
Yeah, but like I don't think he's played Dead by Daylight and like.
No, I don't think so.
No, he's on every once in a while, but he's not like a dedicated DVD player or anything. He's just kind of he jumps around from game to game, and he finds himself back on DVD every once in a while. I've watched him. He's a good streamer.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I just haven't seen him.
Yeah, I never watched his streams, dude. Random point.
Yeah, no, as far as like the tight-knit community people though, or whatever, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, Yeah, no, there's not much. I mean, there's not much for killer skins at all. I tried to get a killer skin. It was tough, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to say about that? I feel like that was a generally just good discussion. I don't know. We can move on to Mathmans and then start to wrap shit up eventually.
Mathmans, it's gonna be good. Yeah.
So
what is it?
So
you got something for us, Mathman? You gotta seem
so,
like you're stalling here, buddy. You seem like you're stalling.
So hear me out. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be mind blown. Like you're not even gonna have a mind because it'll be so blown, you won't even be able to mind. Yeah.
Alright, you're getting me hyped up here.
Hell yeah, dude. Get pumped. Nah, I don't have anything.
Oh my god.
So, I don't know. I was talking about this before the podcast started. It's kind of like, I don't know anything really controversial. I feel like a lot of the things we talked about, I put in my own opinion on it in a quote-unquote controversial setting. I think that was good.
Yeah, I mean you don't need
map design. That's the biggest thing that I fucking care about. Is this fucking game's map design is awful. It's hot garbage trash.
Well, I'll say something about the map design. You want me to say something? Yeah. So, like everyone rips on the map design, but I mean it's not a simple fix. Like it's not as easy as people say. Like sure, like make map design better. That's a fair point, but the question is how. Like, what do you do? Like, you guys were saying before, like, make like 25.
I'll give you a list.
Like,
I'll give you a list.
Like 25 unsafe pallets, and no safe palettes, and then set like sure that might work, but you got to test it, and it might turn out that that doesn't work at all. Like it's really hard to say, and that could completely change the balance of the game. Like maybe it wouldn't be Dead by Daylight anymore at that point.
Yeah, I feel like it's also tough though. Like if we're just relying on the devs making all these crazy changes and allowing us to test it, because they like there's a reason why changes take a long time. I mean, I'm sure you guys know. You talk to the devs and shit. Like they're a small team. They don't have like the crazy manpower of like a gigantic fucking like AAA team or anything. You know, so like it's tough.
I mean, like a lot of AAA games, like even there, like you know, sometimes things come out. Like how many people worked on Evolve? Do we know? I feel like that was AAA, wasn't it?
I actually have no idea.
I have no idea.
I didn't follow Evolve at all.
Yeah, like that fell apart because there was absolutely no way to balance it, you know. And like you look at games like stuff Blizzard makes, you know, Blizzard is constantly making changes to the game because things it's really hard. Balance is tough.
Balance is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. There's like a few things. Just wanted to. You said like, what do you change? You remove fucking infinite windows. That's what you do. Because those shouldn't exist at all. You shouldn't have long chase windows that are Ironworks window, random 50/50 window, Torment Creek, you know, Fractured Cowshed. There's another issue. You shouldn't have all those windows open. Maybe one of them at most, and the loop should be shortened. Like there's a lot of problems with these maps in terms of just simple things that are really obvious to look at, and it's like, wow, that's a problem. You know, is it fun to loop around for 45 seconds till you get Bloodlust 3 and you can hit someone or they get entity block? No. If you got to do that multiple times a game, is it fun? No. Is it good for the balance? No. So I think that's the first place. Is you can easily start with things like that, or how they already did with pallet. The super long double loop or double pallets that made no sense. They've already chopped them down to be a fairer size. They're still safe, but it's a lot better. You know, it's a good change, right direction. But windows, where's the window loop changes? You know, why don't we start like cutting down fucking Ironworks, removing that shit? You know, putting a hole, changing it for a pallet, and then you can have more pallets on the map because the map actually has a really low pallet count, as I learned today.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that where I think you can literally point at it and be like, that's a problem in map design. Infinite windows, that's a problem in map design.
I mean, we've been preaching this for fucking years, man.
No,
so, like...
that's what I'm saying, though, is that is the most definitive one. And then there's things like, obviously, the busted pallets that are still too long, like Benham. There's still so many pallets on Benham that are so brain dead. That's a problem. You could easily cut props off of them and make them shorter. And still be safe. And that's the thing. You can still have them be safe. It's just they're problematic because they're so safe it doesn't make sense.
I feel like those are going to be worked on, though. Like, they already worked on ones for other maps. I feel like they just didn't have time to hit every map. But I agree I agree that the windows have been in the game. They've been a problem in the game forever. And they're continuing to be a problem. Like, oh my God. I know this has been said like a bajillion fucking times, man. But God, I just really want that to be fixed. Like, I just want... like Ironworks window to fuck off, like Coal Tower window to fuck off, like all those windows that are.
Unless we keep saying it, apparently nothing's getting changed. So unless we continue to vent frustrations, even with changes, there's still these things that haven't been changed. Big quality of life issues. For some reason, Coal Tower still has that window. Ironworks still has that window. Random infinites, like you got your suffocation pit. Why are those two windows random? Just make it so it's always the shorter one. You know, even that one can still be a problem when looped with the other one, but that's another thing that you can look at after doing the change, you know, or, you know, maybe touch up that area so it's not as long on one of the sides, so it's not as loopable. Like, there are things that are just, like, bad. And, like, I don't know, like, is a 50/50 window system all right? Like, sure, on something like the Cloud map, where the windows aren't very cut and dry from this one's complete bullshit and this one really kind of sucks.
Yeah, I really hope they start focusing on that like heavily. Like honestly, I would rather see map balance be worked on like way before. Like I respect the fact that they're like touching up perks and shit right now and like buffing perks that are weak and shit, you know. But honestly, map balance continues to be the biggest issue. Like that, like, please,
Because
please,
you can play the game without perks, but you need the maps, and if the maps just continue to be as shit as they are, no amount of perk like up touching is gonna fix that.
Where the fuck's Flare TV to talk about branches and tree trunks and shit,
Yeah,
dude? We need him in here.
Where's
dude.
my Flare 2 vault?
I'm trying to hear some branch and leaf and tree trunk analogies in this bitch.
Yeah, he's
but I
probably
mean,
being a god at Hollow Knight, TBH.
Probably.
He's
But
probably playing better games.
By the way, we have an email from somebody in our email that basically is a statement. I didn't ask for this, but he just sent one, so like we could read it. It's like a quick statement that I guess is like their statement.
I'd love to hear it.
That's changed my mind.
You want
this is this is spoken like a true Reddit killer main, but here we are. It's from Dever. Okay, DBD should be a game where you fear the killer, as opposed to waiting until the last second to use your invincibility speed boost or teabag at a pallet. Okay.
I disagree. Is that the statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree. It's never gonna happen.
I disagree solely on the fact that no game, okay, I wish you would have used the word respect rather than fear, because I think that's what he meant. Like, no horror game is going to be scary after, like, 100 hours. I'm sorry. That's just not going to be a thing. Take any horror game. You can take the scariest game you've ever played. If you play it over and over again for 100 hours, it's not going to be scary anymore. That's just how it is, you know? So, like, I really wish you would have used the word respect, because I think that's what he means. Whereas, like, you actually, like, respect the killer and don't want to get anywhere near them and you're trying to get away from them. Like, I feel like this is more of just, like, a... like...
community problem?
Yeah, I feel like it's a... Okay, I honestly feel like it's a fucking map problem. I really do. I feel like what it is you're playing against survivors who know the maps are so strong and they know that they know it well enough that they're able to run you around, so they like taunt you about it, you know, and they're like like that's the reason why they don't like he uses the word fear, but I'm just gonna completely replace it with the word respect.
He said in my chat that respect, he agrees more with respect anyways. That's the point he's trying to make.
Yeah. So yeah, like I totally like agree that like that should be a thing, but I also feel like the reason it's not is because first off, the map balance is wrong, and second off, just because people are dicks. You know, I feel like even if the game was more balanced, people would still be dicks. Like, people teabagging and BMing is never ever gonna go away.
Of course not.
But no, what sucks? Yeah, but what sucks is they'll do that, and then you're also helpless. Yeah, you're helpless, and it's like, fuck, this guy's being an asshole. But what can I do? These maps are fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then that's what draws out the frustration. So like, I get it, and I do agree. But again, I feel like this exact thing is just, again, map balance. It's just the killers need to have a little bit more power over their chases, and then, you know, that way if someone is being a BMing piece of shit, you know, through your own skill, you'll be able to punish them and catch them without, you know, I don't know, completely throwing your game by bloodlust 3ing and face camping them and then letting all other 3 people go or whatever. You know, whatever the fuck people do to people who do that. I don't know. I don't care about teabagging myself, so I don't know. But you know what I mean. I get the frustration.
I do too. I wish that if they did that, you could fuck them, because then it's like not, you know what I mean. You can fuck them up. You know, like beat their ass.
Yeah,
because with the SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, because right now you don't. It's like, oh, this motherfucker's BMing me. Let's get him, and then you just go chase him, and it's like, oh wait, he's running Ironworks window over and over again. Fuck. Okay. Oh, he's off Ironworks now because we bloodlust him.
Not do anything.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah, he got to the safe pallet. Oh shit. Oh, his adrenaline just popped. Never mind. Fuck. You know. And then it's like, god damn it. You know. So yeah, like I get it. I just feel like it's a general balance and general map balance thing. But I agree with him. I mean, I think it would be cool if like the killers did demand a little bit more respect, you know what I mean? As survive again, people will still disrespect them.
Your killer mains.
Yeah. Although, you know, I still think people are gonna BM them and not give a shit, even if survivors get nerfed and killers get buffed or whatever.
I mean, but people will do that even if they know they're losing. Like, some people just BM when they're losing.
Yeah, it just so happens that the game's in like a rough spot right now for killers. So when it happens, it feels even worse because of how helpless you feel. So I don't know. I think that's really all I got to say about that. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I mean, it sounds like the guy wants to win all the time. Like, what's the if someone's saying like, oh, I want survivors
be
to respect and fear the killer, like, okay, yeah, but it's a multiplayer game. You're playing against other people. You're not playing against computers. So, like, if things were balanced, you should expect to lose half the time. So, no matter what, if things are like relatively balanced, someone's going to teabag you half the time, and you're not going to catch them. Like, that's just the nature of multiplayer games.
Yeah, I kind of find that true. I agree. I again, I just feel like the frustration probably strives from the fact that it's so hard right now to catch people, and like you feel so helpless sometimes. But I do agree. I mean, like no matter what happens with the balance, that's gonna be a thing. That's like literally how every game is. You know what I mean? Is people are gonna be like BMing and I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a big thing in fighting games. Like you look at like fighting game like big tournaments, and you got people teabagging. Like it's just a thing they do. It's just a part of the game. It's a mental mind game. It's an aspect. You're trying to damage their
pride.
Yeah, trying to like get under their skin.
You want to intimidate them.
All
Not
right.
necessarily gonna intimidate you. Just, yeah.
I see Dever in Mathman's chat talking about his opinion. Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much what I thought he was getting at. He's more just like what he meant by this was more of like a respect thing where he just feels like, you know, yeah, like that the killer should be less helpless, you know. And I get that. I totally get it. I totally get the situation where as a killer you're being BM'd by somebody and then they just like sprint burst away. You eventually catch them and then they DS and then adrenaline pops and you're just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, why is anyone gonna want to play a game like that? You know what I mean? Like I get that. And I just think, you know, like everything else, we'd all fuck it. It all just comes down to fucking, you know, the map balance, you know, like generally map balance.
Oh, just balance in general. Like, I mean, we don't have to talk about maps here. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, we're talking about perks mostly here.
Yeah, I mean,
sprint burst. Like, this is all perks.
Yeah, but I think the reason why those are so definitive is because of the map balance. Because like those help you. Like for instance, it takes so long to catch people because of the maps, and then when you finally do, they DS and then go right back to the map. Like for instance, I personally think DS wouldn't even be that big of a deal if the maps weren't that bad. If I'm gonna be honest. Like, if someone DS and then they ran straight to an unsafe pallet, I'd be like, whatever, you just wasted, like, 10 seconds. Like, what the fuck ever. But the reason why DS is so strong is because they DS and then they go right back to these, like, safe-ass loops. And sometimes it can take you a whole, like, another minute to catch them, you know? So...
Yeah, I don't think DS is a big problem.
I think DS is a problem because of maps, you know?
I think DS is a problem because first chase takes so long.
Yeah. But anyway,
first chase is the most dangerous, yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think that's what he was getting at, and I want to say, yeah, like I agree with him, and I think I don't think it'll ever be like perfectly like that, but I do, you know, I do think that ideally is how it should be. Yeah. I don't know, man. Judging by this awkward silence, are we done? Are we out of stuff to talk about? I think we can wind it up here.
We're done.
I think we are.
This is actually I had a really good time this podcast.
Yeah,
Tempest.
this is fun, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, man. You're actually
thanks for coming by.
Yeah, you were a great guest, man. You were really good at like articulating your thoughts and shit. You did a good job, man. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in and doing this with us.
Well, I mean, I know you guys. I've been talking to you guys for like years now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why I knew you'd be a good guest. I already knew you, so like it wasn't even like I was bringing on some random fucking guy or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. Thank anybody who's watching this, anyone who's like listening in Mathman's stream currently. You're all a bunch of nerds. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you guys. If you guys have any closing statements, I don't know, feel free.
Got him,
dude. Called them all nerds.
Oh yeah, closing statements. Exhaustion perks were pretty stupid. It's my closing statement.
Yeah. Mine's fix the maps, please. Just again.
Please, for the love of all that is holy.
All right, wait. My closing statement is going to be not completely negative. Sorry. I'm going to say devs, good job with like the changes recently. Because the devs, can we acknowledge that the devs have been fucking killing it lately, man? Like the changes that have been coming out lately have been really good. Like obviously this game is still
patch, though, all the tech coming back, baby.
Yeah, like
we're gonna be faking unhooks, disarm buffering.
Right? Like I just kind of realized that we're coming off like super negative and just being like, oh, everything's still broken. Oh. But like, I mean, there is still problems obviously that they could work on, and we're just trying to address that. But I just want to take a second and be like, fuck yeah, devs, you're killing it, because they are, dude. They're doing such a good job. So I'm pumped for what's coming up, and I hope that they, you know, continue to work on the maps, especially. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And that's about it.
And that's all, folks.
All right.
I guess my closing statement would be like, give Wraith a chance. He's not as bad as you think.
Give
He deserves
Wraith
more.
a chance.
He's not as bad. He doesn't need a huge buff. He's good. I swear.
Nah,
I'm gonna go give him a chance, honestly. After hearing what I'm gonna go give him a chance. I'm gonna be honest. All right, well, that's all for the podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and we outie. See ya.
Yeah.
Later.
See ya.
See ya.